Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. The folks at Southeast Termite and Pest Control gave my home their fall invader treatment just last week. I do this every year now, and it has been a huge upgrade. No longer deal with stink bugs and ladybugs getting in your house, not even box elder bugs. They keep them all out. Call them right now. Call them for any need you might have, including you can call their wildlife division if you find a skunk, fox, rabbit, snake, bat, whatever that's found its way into your home, attic, basement. They get rid of it. Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Okay, welcome in the next two members of our panel. Right here we have David Ubben from The Athletic. Thanks for you coming in. Thanks to you for coming in, I should say. And right there, both these guys dressed in dark blue, black. Sterling Hinton.
We doing some things.
VFL Sterling Hinton in mourning today. Now, in 2011, you brought this up. We had you shave.
Yeah.
Because of the loss to Kentucky. Yeah. You're not shaving anything today.
Not today.
Okay. You saw the last segment. You tell me, overkill? We overdoing it on the not seeing that? I'm not seeing the development. Are we beating this drum too hard today?
Well, I think you have to sort of talk about what you're comparing to. You know, if you're talking about Butch's best teams, yeah, I think that's...
Well, I'm just doing year 3 versus year 3.
Yeah, I understand, but Butch, he got off the ground a little bit earlier, but I think it's also worth noting that I think Butch, inherited a situation that was probably a little bit better. You know, when you look at what Jeremy Pruitt inherited, he inherited a roster that had no one invited to the Combine. That's pretty rough at Tennessee. And I think too, for all the losses and lopsided losses, I think Jeremy Pruitt's also not having future NFL players leave his team mid-season. He's not having guys fall on helmets. He's not having I think those sort of issues that came up during the Butch era that were just constant dysfunction are not happening here, and I think that's going to pay off in the long run, because I think for what Butch had going at Tennessee, to fall off that quickly, I mean, obviously the foundation was rotted a little bit, and I think that's something.
Now I will say though, as a ding to Pruitt, he isn't doing the I've lost my joke, the circle of life drill. Now he does need to pick up the circle of life drill.
Yeah.
Sterling, too negative in that last segment. Do you see the growth in this program after a loss to Kentucky like that?
The Kentucky loss, I equate that to a situation where the team just had a real bad day. I recall us having those type of days, but they were in practice, and we ran until we realized that day was over, and thankful for it to be over, and then made it carry over to Saturday with that type of effort. But unfortunately, the one thing that Butch had going for him in his year 3, John P., we tend to forget, he had third down for what? So you got to bring that thing back, I'm just saying. But, it's just amazing, man. It's unfortunate. It's a sad day yesterday in Vol country, but they turned it around last year. I'm looking forward to them to do it again this year.
Yeah, it's already started now. You're getting it was 7 or 8 wins at the start of the season. Now after yesterday, can they win 3 games? I still think this is probably going to be about a 5-win team. I just think that's who they are. And I think you look around the SEC, there's a pretty good group. Most of the teams are all kind of equal in there. I mean, Kentucky beat Tennessee. Tennessee beat South Carolina. South Carolina beat Auburn. Auburn beat Kentucky. I'm not going to be surprised if Tennessee drops another one they shouldn't. I'm not going to be surprised if they upset somebody. I just think that is what it is. But in terms of stars, we keep hearing evaluation, development, toe-to-toe. All right, that's a clear standard. I look at Bryce Thompson, this guy brought in. He hasn't always been up there, but we got some numbers later that show teams don't go at him often. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't there be more than 1.5 guys in year 3 that we're going, look who he got? Because even with Butch, you had Dobbs, Hurd, Kamara. You don't get that with Pruitt.
Yeah,
fair or not?
I think in some ways, Eric Gray's probably in that mix. Your 2 tackles are really
that's the real concern.
Those guys got to get better. Yeah. I mean, your 2 5-stars. Trey Smith walks in day 1, and he is Trey Smith. We have not seen that from those guys, and I know that there's all kinds of reasons. They've been in and out of quarantine, all those things. I understand that. Yeah. They just have not played well. I mean, they have not played well, and you got to be better. I mean, they're just getting beat on the outside consistently and giving up those kill shots that you recruited them to prevent. And that's, when Garantano is getting a guy running full speed at his back,
in less than 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's just like that's what you're supposed to not have happen. You don't have to necessarily look like an NFL guy, but goodness, John, I think if we threw you out there, you could do that probably.
There's a guy that keeps up with all of the quarterback times in the conference, and this was shocking to me. Garantano is actually the 5th fastest to get rid of the football, 2.28 seconds. So all the people that say, "Oh, he holds on to it too long, that's why he's getting sacked." There are times when he does. But for the most part, that isn't the problem.
Yeah,
It's people
the last
coming around
couple
the
seasons, we haven't really
ends.
seen that from Garantano holding on to it too long. That was more 2017, early 2018. I mean, at this point, decision making and accuracy has been an issue for Jared. That second one that led to an 85-yard return. I mean, there's a tiny window that he can sort of get it in there, but he's got
a linebacker standing right there looking at him.
There's a tiny window where it's there, and he makes a bad throw. It's a bad decision. I mean, you're asking for it at that point.
It's tier 3. Should we be seeing more guys that he signed that we say, okay, this is one of these stars. This is a foundational player. Because I see 1.5.
I thought we would have seen more out of the secondary instead of how much we've talked about concerns there and how much we've heard Jeremy Pruitt talk about concerns in the secondary, because these are players that he's brought in and he's, at this point, helped develop, right? And it's not working out that way. And then also at linebacker, there is Henry To'oTo'o, and he is your star across the roster. But they've had to go back to Jeremy Banks, bringing him back to the football team, and that's because J.J. Peterson was a big-time get in the first class, and it has not worked out with him. And I think Quavaris Crouch can still be a good player, but Tennessee needs more than just, I think somebody will be good. They need good right now, and it's not there.
Sterling, I tell you what, we didn't let you talk much in this segment, but I'm gonna get you to chime in the next segment. A lot of people are saying Pruitt should just go to the young quarterbacks. Just go to Bailey and let it go from there and build for the future. We'll discuss whether that's in Pruitt's best interest, whether he owes anybody when making that decision. That's next. Come on back on the Sports Source.
Hey, when you're away from home, catch us on Facebook Live, our YouTube channel, or on sportsource.tv.
Let's do it.
This is the Sports Source.